Yeah, Maris Strombergs. Yeah, the
Okay.
dude is like, yeah, I mean, I know I've been saying this like, oh, this is the biggest guy in the sport, but this literally is like he's done everything. He did it all, and like he's double what any other rider ever is. Like he's so in his own league, it's insane. And those are the riders that I've been trying to get first are like the biggest names to have ever do the sport, you know?
Yeah. What do you attribute his
Um,
success to?
that's what I want to know, like that's what I want to find out. Nobody knows anything what he was doing, so that's why I'd be really interested to um ask him questions about what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want an intention for this episode, what are the top three things you want to pull out? Because he just got in the waiting room. I just want to make sure we bring home the message.
Yeah, I'm not trying to push any specific message, other than I'd really like to learn about what made him so exceptional. The type of things from his childhood, his environment,
Okay.
to, just kind of learning like, what was making him tick, because he was able to turn it on better than anyone ever in history.
Cool.
So how he was able to do that, as well as what he plans to do for the rest of his life with freedom.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's dialing in from his iPhone, so don't forget to have him turn it sideways. I'll let him
Okay,
in
yeah.
right now.
I
Hello, hello.
What's up, Maris? Hey, can you
What's
hold
up?
your phone sideways for us? Is
This way?
that possible? Yeah, way
This way?
better.
Okay, let me see. I'll lean it against something. One sec. All right. Better?
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Does it sound decent or?
Sounds good. Edwin,
Okay.
how's it sound? If you haven't met yet, this is Edwin Adams. He's the co-host to the show, and he's also the behind-the-scenes guy that deals with everything technical. Does everything look and sound good, Edwin?
Yeah, everything looks great. Maris, is that the correct pronunciation of your name?
Maris, either way, yeah.
Fabulous. Privileged to meet you,
It
my
works
friend.
either
Thanks.
way, yeah. Yeah. Nice to meet you, by the way, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to have you guys meet, and I'm stoked to be able to talk to you for a little bit, Maris, and hear about your career and things that you've done and things that you're up to now. What are you up to these days?
Not much, to be honest. Just hanging out with kids, with the family, yeah. Play a lot of golf. I do travel once a while, not as much as I used to, obviously, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I have a little bit of real estate here, with my buddy on the side, and just living the dream, I guess.
So, are you one of the only guys ever in our sport that was actually able to retire from our sport, possibly?
uh, I don't know. I mean, could be, but again, it wouldn't be without meeting the right people at the right time, and kind of, while I was still active in racing, I had made some investments back then, and then it worked out. Yeah, but like I always say, it wasn't just being smart or whatnot. It's just, sometimes you just got to be in the right place at the right time, and then it kind of worked out for me.
What were some of the investments or people that you met that were right place, right time kind of thing?
Say again.
What were those investments that you made or those people that you met that allowed you now to have the freedom that you
Well, I
have?
mean, it was it was through BMX. Yeah, I met my buddy Steve. Yeah, and then he was doing real estate, and he's still doing to this day. And then I put some of my savings back then that I had into a couple
Yeah,
properties, and then we're renting them out, and that basically covers all my living costs. And then
yeah,
if I decide to do something on the side, then that's just extra bonus. Yeah, and after the first couple of years after I retired, I didn't really feel like doing much. I just kind of wanted to. The kids were born, and I was mostly at home, and my wife didn't work either. Yeah, so we were just kind of just living keeping the American dream alive. Yeah, but now it's kind of, it's the 5 years since my son was born, and I get back into just kind of doing something. You gotta you stayed at home. I played a lot of golf, and I still play a lot of golf. But at some point, you know you want to maybe leave something behind in the sport or whatever it is. I mean, but just kind of get involved into something. Yeah. So right now, I'm kind of in the stage where I'm trying to figure out, what's next.
Yeah, I really want to get into that, but first I want to address a rumor that I heard that maybe you could clarify. Is it true that from the gold medals that you won, that some deal you have with the country of Latvia for them to give you like X amount of dollars for the rest of your life to make sure that you're taken care of, or is that rumor?
Well, that was, I mean, some of it is obviously a rumor. I mean, but they kind of took it out of context a little bit. The way it works, I think, is when you get to that retirement age, right? Whatever it is, 65 or whatever country, I don't know what number it is. Then they take care of you from that age and on. Yeah, it's not because I retired at 30 doesn't mean they're gonna just keep paying me for gold medal. Yeah, it would be nice, yeah, but I don't think it happens it doesn't happen in any country. Yeah.
Oh man, it's funny how rumors go then, because I swear I heard so many times that like Latvia was giving you like a couple $100,000 for the rest of your life just to live it
Oh
up.
no, that come on, it's a small country. It would be nice even
Yeah,
even if it is something down the road when when I retire and fully retire. It might be, I mean, a small amount of money. It's not going to be something where I can just live
yeah.
off and just travel every month and whatnot. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's nothing like that. Yeah.
You still need the American dream, is what I'm hearing.
Oh yeah, we do. I do. That's why I got to get up and start doing something on the side too.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of what you want to start doing on the side or with all the time that you got?
uh, well, I'm currently obviously talking and working with the Chinese BMX. They want me over there. How involved and whatnot, we still discussing all that, the details and stuff. So
Is
that's
that more
about
for a coaching role or management role
that's
or
for the coaching role. Yeah, either
nice?
it's gonna be either it's gonna be elites or with the younger generation or just kind of a little bit of both. So we still kind of working out the details and stuff. So and that's one thing. Another thing is I mean it's still new, but I'm currently working on the logo and want to make the uniforms in the BMX, the gear.
Nice. Yeah.
Because every time I go back home, yeah, I see all the kids and they write all these like, not calling anyone out. I mean, they all are nice gear, Troy Lee and stuff, but it's just so overpriced. It's so expensive there, and it just even the helmets, because my sister's daughter, she rides BMX now. She's 9-10, and she's actually really good. And and she wants to buy a new helmet. It's like 700, 800, whatever dollars is and to me
Yeah.
it's like it's crazy even how expensive the bikes are. I mean, I get it, the carbon and stuff, and I had no clue that the carbon frame and fork costs $2,000. Yeah, it's crazy. And I told my
Yeah.
sister, yeah, 9-year-old kid that doesn't need carbon frame. Yeah, you don't need carbon. Right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, absolutely.
it's just those little things, but it's more than anything. I just kind of want to leave just something behind me. Yeah, just maybe start with a gear, maybe it expands and grows into something bigger. But I see all the kids in Latvia, and then there's definitely a market. Yeah, and not just Latvia. Obviously, I would start with the Asian market and then Latvia, and then maybe move it to Europe a little bit more, and then who knows, maybe come here in the States as well.
So you go back to Latvia still pretty often on a yearly basis, and they have a whole Maris Strombergs facility there now. Is that true?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, and I only go once a year. Yeah, in the summer, usually in August. Yeah, the last couple of
Yeah.
years I went for a little bit longer, and this year because I had to go to China, and then my wife, she works. She works here as well. She opened her own salon, so we only went for 2 weeks. Yeah, went by myself, and just to bring the whole family for 2 weeks is just it's way too expensive. Yeah, these days to travel and
It,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, but going back to Latvia now, is it completely different when you were a kid or a lot of the same?
Like when I was a kid, you mean?
Yeah. You going back there now compared to growing up in Latvia, is there a lot of things that have changed from just your life there, how you're treated there, to even just the country in general?
Uh
Does it feel different?
it to me it doesn't, because I've been there basically every year, every step, step along, and so I don't. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean it's like any other place in Europe, really. It's so all the same these days. I feel like we have, back in the day we have all these same type of restaurants. So they're bringing everything in from the Europe, from America. So it's a lot of it feels the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
airport
What's
the
your
same.
favorite thing about Latvia?
I mean, like I always say, I mean it's my friends and family. That's what I honestly miss the most. Yeah, I mean I do enjoy going back there, enjoy the food,
Yeah.
but it gets old real quick, yeah, because it's very, very basic and simple. But I do miss it. I go there for 3, 4 weeks, and then I'm kind of over it, and I want come back to the States and enjoy there, because there's so many different options. Yeah,
Yeah.
even though it may not be the healthiest options, but there's just a lot more to choose from, right?
For sure, for sure. What was it like growing up racing BMX in Latvia? Did you have a friend that did it? Family? Were there even a lot of people to do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was pretty small though. Like I always say, I mean, I started when I was 5. My dad's friend's son, he used to ride back in the day. He was probably like a 14-year-old kid at that time. I was only 5, yeah. And that's how I got into it, really. And at first,
Yeah.
like I think I've said the story before, I didn't like it at first. Yeah, it took me to the track, and the first session, all these older kids were jumping all these doubles. Back in the day, everyone obviously rode flats. Yeah, they were all.
Mhm.
And I saw that. I stood there on the side of the track and just cried literally for like an hour and a half. I never tried that day. Went back home. It took me probably a few weeks. Yeah. Then I went up to my dad. He's like, "Hey, can you take me to the track again when no one's there?" And he did. And then I just slowly got into it. But at first, it wasn't love from the first sight. Put it
Yeah, that's
down.
funny.
And because
And
I actually started with the skiing. Yeah, I
skiing.
was the mountain skiing. Yeah, because we had a mountain. There was a in the winter time right next to the BMX track. So winter time, I started with that when I was 5. I kind of get scared of that. I mean, I've never been really good with heights. I somehow made the supercross hill work, but I was never good with heights. Yeah, and then I got into BMX when I was 10. I quit for a little while. I played basketball, but because back then in basketball the system was so bad, and like all the coaches were basically constantly drunk, and this it was different times. Yeah, and that kind of pushed me away, and then I got back into BMX. Yeah, and until I retired.
How long were you out of BMX when you were doing basketball? And
It was
10 from what
mostly
age?
I was 10. It was mostly the winter time, because the BMX goes in the summer, and the basketball, since it's indoors, you mostly start kind of like late winter. During the winter you play, and then I played till really the summer. Yeah, and then I kind of slowly kind of quit, and then I did a couple sessions, played a few games back then, but then that's pretty much it. Yeah, so it was only like probably a 6 months. Yeah, but
So
basketball
you
was always my
weren't
favorite sport growing up.
basketball was your favorite growing up, you said?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's so you were only riding over the summertime and you mainly had to take every winter off throughout your childhood?
For most part, yeah. Because like I said, we it's a four seasons. Yeah, it's a lot of snow, and as I got older, we went during the winter. We did like either judo, or we just trained in the gym, like played, just did some physical activities. Either we could like running, jumping, play basketball with friends, just try to stay active. Yeah, and then when I got a little bit older, we built a little indoor track. There's my little girl. Come here. Hello. Say hello.
Oh, wow.
Say hello.
And she's cute. And that's your second kid?
That's my yeah, she's my second one. Yeah, 1.5.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats.
And thank you. And yeah, then we built a little indoor track, and that, even though it was super tiny, but it gave us a chance to ride in the winter time. But let's say if it was outside, let's say if it was, let's say 15 degrees, then inside it was 32, so it was still cold inside. So we had to wear extra clothes and warm up and stuff. Can you bring it in? Inside? Yeah. Come on. Sorry.
How old were you when you guys built the track in Latvia, the indoor?
Say again?
How old were you when you built the track in Latvia?
I was probably, I'm trying to think, 13, 14, around that age. 13, 14. And obviously, we did use it a lot for the training. But then as I get older, like 15, 16, then we had a chance to go spend like 3-4 weeks in like France, train in the winter time. We did camps, and then, or later on, I think at 16, 15, I started going to Florida in the winter time. We stayed with Lucas family.
Yeah.
Over there.
And I think that's maybe where we first met back in the day. Or no, I think you're a little bit older, but
San Pete. Yeah, that's the first memory of Florida. Yeah. Over there, we Tampa track in Orlando. Those are the two my memories.
So at 13 or so, you guys built the track. Now, was that you and your family, or you and your community, and is it still there?
That track is not there, but we have another small indoor track. We have another one now. They built it. Obviously it's very tiny, but it's, like I said, it's better than nothing. Yeah. And but that one, it was my buddy's dad's little, just, I mean, I don't even know what you call it. It's like a little shack, basically, like whatever. Where he kept the potatoes in the winter. Yeah, that's what it was. So it wasn't overly big. It was kind of like half was actually into the ground, and the roof and everything else was kind of sticking out of the ground. Yeah. And and his dad didn't need it at the time, so I was like, hey, you guys want it, you can use it. Yeah. We built the track, and then we did it ourselves, and we built it, and we used it for probably 15 something years. Yeah. And then he wanted and then later on, because his son wasn't riding anymore, and he had an opportunity to sell it, so he sold it. Yeah. So it's not there anymore.
So from 13 or so, you got a track to ride in the winter from a buddy's barn type of thing. And then when you were 15, 16, that's when you started going to France during the winter time, and then to Florida. So you were taking it pretty seriously at this point. Did you already have eyesights or an idea about the Olympics? Or was that not something you were thinking about then? Or
no, not at all. Yeah, I think the whole Olympics. I mean, we got to go back and look when they announced it. Then the BMX is going to be in Olympics. I'm pretty sure it was maybe 6 years before the Beijing. I think when they announced the new sports, it was something like that. I think I was 16 at the time, or 15. I read it in the newspaper at my dad's work. I was like, that's cool. Someone will get to go and compete for the gold medal. At that point, I didn't even cross my mind. I think when it really did, it was probably 2 years before, 2-3 years before, when the qualification started. Then it was like, because I was still at that point considered the third fastest guy in Latvia, right? Because we had my coach at that time, Ivo Lakucs and Madison's, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And I was at that time, I was still chasing them. Yeah. And then it just the one winter time, it just kind of happened. Yeah, I started beating them in practice, and it just kind of took off from there.
What changed? What went from chasing those guys to all of a sudden you were beating them, and then all of a sudden you're world champion and Olympic champion. That seemed like it happened so fast. Like coming from America, you literally put Latvia on the map for us. You know, like most American riders never even heard of the country
And
until you know, maybe you won the world championships. So it's like how,
I mean, we got
how
to
does
go
that
back
happen?
we got to go back to junior years, 17, 18. I mean, even I think in junior class, I was very serious. I mean, I was pretty good in the junior years. Uh, I think second year I should. I mean, Did I win the European title? It's a good question. I forgot to be. No, I did win the European title my second year junior, and I was the favorite going into the Worlds as well. So that's basically your 18, right? The second year junior.
Yeah.
The Worlds were in the France, and I raced cruiser at the time too. In the final, I was leading by a gap in the final, and the last turn, I just decided to go wide, just on the very outside, just cruising there, and the French dude just dive bombed and took me out, right? And I hurt my wrist, and then I couldn't race the regular class, yeah. But I was the favorite, and obviously after that year, you're 18. That's when it kind of, I mean, not very proud of it, but I kind of started partying a little bit, right? You know, the 18, you start going to the clubs a little bit the whole winter time, basically every Saturday, sometimes even Thursday. You just out there from like 10 o'clock till 6 in the morning, just just partying, and the whole winter, and it caught up, yeah. The next season was even though it was the first year elite, but I still felt like one of the faster guys, but I just couldn't put it together. Like I said, all the partying in the wintertime, it catches up to you, right? And then I think I was 11th or 12th place total that year. So what I realized, okay, this is not how I want to be, right? I got to get more serious. And then the next year, I got more into it, more serious. And then I think I got second place in Europe, which was, kind of surprised myself because Allier raced back then. I think he won that title. And I got second. So I was the fastest guy in Latvia at that point, I guess, right? Because Madison's, he got third. And then from that point on, it just kind of, I gained that confidence, and I just kind of happened over the winter time. Yeah. I remember.
But the biggest change was you cleaning up the partying and just getting more serious towards your training, towards, what you're working towards. And then all of a sudden it just kind of happened, huh?
Yeah. But what happened also was the first year elite, I was okay, but I wasn't the fastest, right? I mean, I was pretty fast, and then it was like, okay, it was the final. I think it was the final rounds. It was in England, I think. I was like, okay, I want to do well, finish the season strong, and I felt really good in practice. I felt motos. I won the motos quarter, and then I think 1/8 final, and then in quarter I unclipped, right? And I didn't make it out of whatever quarterfinal, and I just, it's just not that I was mad, but I just kind of remember I got on my bike and I just kind of rode far away and just sat down on the grass. And I remember crying too. I mean, I sat down and cried as like, this is, this is not how, I want it to go. Yeah. And I just kind of just sat down. I was like, okay, this is it. Yeah. Got to get, got to put the work in. I want to be better next year. And then from that point on, it just kept training. Yeah. Without even looking back. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy to hear, but like,
one more thing. Yeah. That's what I always tell kids too. It's not all those wins and victories that, keep you motivated. It's all the losses. And if you're smart enough and you learn from them, then that's what makes you better. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if I look back, and those are the things that kept me in the sport. Yeah. Because there was a few years when I was close. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. I think I was 16 or 15. I kind of thought, I don't think I want to do this anymore. But that's typically, when you go through that, whatever, teenage, whatever years too, as well. And all those bad lucks or bad losses in races or whatnot, that they kept me in the sport. Yeah. They kept me motivated.
Yeah. So, by the time you're even 16, 17, junior and first year in elite, you're already, like if you're top 2 in Europe, you're already extremely, extremely good. You know, so, I guess what I want to ask is besides cleaning up the partying, maybe earlier than that, how did you get so good to where just cleaning up the partying is what it took, right? Because there's a lot of people who don't party and train hard and stay focused and and can ride well, but never reached anything of what you were able to reach. Was there something, like growing up that maybe you learned from your parents or, from the ages from 10 to 15, were you riding more than anybody else? Did you just love it more? Or was it just crazy raw talent that you were just blessed with?
Well, I think I mean, main reason is the coach, my coach, Ivo Lakucs. He's basically like my second dad, yeah. And growing up when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, I mean, he was an older guy, so basically he was the guy that we always kind of look up to. I was like, I want to be like him, right? So that was the coolest thing. Even though we had Rob the Wild back in Europe, obviously, we were growing up kids. We were big fans of them as well, like Dale Holmes, watching all the worlds and stuff. But he was like the local hero, right? So I wanted to be like him. And then at 15, 16, I had a opportunity to start training with him. He was racing, and at the same time, he was helping me out and a few other kids, yeah, coaching at the same time. So, and that was the coolest thing, yeah. And obviously, that gave the extra boost, yeah. That you're like, okay, I can train with him. That's the coolest thing, yeah.
What did you pick up from Evo that was so impactful, or like what made him great, or your guys' relationship so beneficial?
Uh, I mean, he's just like me. Yeah, he keeps things real. Yeah, there's no, I grew up that way. He's like, hey, if something's not right or it just doesn't look right, he always kept it honest. Yeah, there's no like, oh, this, but I grew up in a different kind of in different age. Yeah, where as a coach, you can say some mean things, right? Without really, even though there were times I might, take it personal or cried. I never went home and told my dad whatever. And coach told me this or whatever that. These days you can't really do that anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then, but it was just, it was the coolest thing that growing up, he was the kind of local hero, and then he's like, oh, I get to train with him on a daily basis now. I mean, that alone just, helped me tremendously. And then later on, I think he was just me, him. Some of the kids he kind of let go, and then I was still part of the band, right, the group, and we just kept training, yeah, kept training and getting better. And I think, and at the same time, he saw some of the talent that I had, and saw the potential. And but those kind of questions you gotta ask him. He'll probably answer better. But and then he just kind of took off, yeah. Then we get the chance.
And you trained with him pretty much your whole career, huh? Are you guys still close?
Yeah, we're still close. I was back home right now, and then I went over to his house, and we stayed up probably till like 3-4 o'clock to catch up with all the stuff that's going on. Yeah, so no, we still, yeah. Obviously, we don't talk as much anymore because he still does BMX a little bit, but then he kind of transitioned into soccer, yeah, or we call it football. I call it football, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a physical coach in soccer now. So he's doing good, and then he's doing so.
Nice. What other things in your environment growing up do you feel played a part in your success in BMX? Other than the coach being on you and being honest, were there anything else in your environment that you feel made a huge impact?
I just think coming from a small country in general, yeah, you feel like you have to every year, every week, you just got to prove yourself, right? And it was the same coming to America after the first Olympic gold. Even though I was the gold medalist, the world champion, I came here with the mindset that I gotta prove myself all over again. There's now, right? So, and
Yeah.
I think that kind of is a small country mindset. Yeah, I think in America, a lot of kids or athletes, they take those kind of things for granted. They're like, okay, we come from the best, whatever the country in the world, and then, but we don't think that way. Our mindset is like, okay, we got to go in there and prove ourselves and work harder than anyone else, and a lot of times that leads to better results. Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
So I think that helped, and I always tell kids, and those three things. Yeah, like I say, you gotta believe in yourself, you gotta work ethic, you get the little things, work hard, you gotta get up on time, show up on time, do everything right. And then the third thing is surround yourself with good people. Yeah, those three things will get you pretty
That's
far.
the recipe.
That really is the recipe. And that surround yourself with good people. Keep the circle small too, small and tight. Yeah, you don't need 100 friends telling you how good you are. You need those few friends that will tell you, keep it real and be honest with you. If you're not doing right or something, they'll just let you know, right? They might hurt your feelings, but they're trying to help you.
Yeah, that's really good advice. When you were on the gate for that first World Championships that you won in China, did you believe that you could win?
I did, but the whole year was like I said, everything happened so fast that it went by like this, and then it was like I wouldn't call it a dream, but it's just kind of happened. Yeah, the whole year, obviously. During the winter, I was training. I felt fast. I felt good, and then I went to the Europe and I started winning, and confidence just kept growing and growing, and I won the European title, and then the Worlds are coming up, and lane one, I'm winning the 1/8 final, lane one again, winning the quarterfinal, lane one again, winning the semi, and then it's like, hey, you just got one more lap to go, right? And then I really, even at the Worlds, I didn't think I'm going there to win, but I knew that I'm one of the fastest guys, right? But before Olympics, that's when I kind of sat down and realized, hey, I'm kind of one of the favorites going into Olympics, and then that was a little harder to deal with. But at that time, I was still the youngest guy on the team, so I didn't try to put too much pressure on myself. Yeah, and like I say, the London and Beijing, it's like day and night, from the mental part, and then the nerves and the pressure is just completely different. London by far is to me, biggest achievement. Yeah, because just what I went through, what it took. It was tough. It was hard.
What was the biggest change or difference between winning your first gold medal in China to your second one in London?
Well, we all know in any sport, it's just so much harder to defend your title than to win the first one, right? Because the first one, you can be the fast really not a target, right? You don't have that target on your back till you actually win, right? And the second one is you win the first one, you just living the dream, winning the races, living the American dream, traveling and stuff, and then it's like boom, the 4 years just go by so fast. It's like, oh, London's coming up. Shit, how's it gonna be if I'm not the gold medalist now, right? All those those are the little stupid thoughts. It's not. And then and it kind of creeps in your head, and even before Olympics, I remember 3 weeks before we were training, and I'm just thinking, just don't do something stupid, don't crash, no, don't break your collarbone, right? Just all those unnecessary thoughts that you normally don't even think about, but it's like, but I'm just sleeping the night thinking, it's like, hey, if I crash right, I can't go to Olympics, it would suck, right? Just don't do something stupid. And I was struggling with just doing some basic stuff in in training prior to Olympics, because I'm just, that thought was back on my mind, right? Just don't do something stupid, don't crash, whatever. It's hard. It's hard to train that way.
Yeah.
And we flew to London. I remember, I think we went, whatever it was, 5 days before the race, and as I got there, I was like, I just mentally, it just happened so fast. Like, I'm not ready for this, right? Even though physically I felt good, but mentally it's like, it's just too soon. I got to defend my title literally in 4 days, and if you go back and you watch the race, you can clearly see I was just first gate late, the second one just hit the gate, just completely out of sync, completely out of sync. But I just somehow managed to put it together and make it to the semifinal. And even look at the semifinal, each lap kind of got better and better. And then the main event was that's when I felt like myself again, like a good old machine, yeah. And even before the main event, I remember my manager, and that's a true story. I was warming up, and before I had to go up, walk up the stairs, he's like, "What are you smiling about?" He's like, I told him I got it.
That's awesome.
And then
so,
boom.
It seems like it's definitely a complete 180 where you're going into your first Olympics and it's like you were coming off a hot streak, but then during your second Olympics, kind of seemed like the opposite, where even your race day was not going good. It did not look like Maris was going to win that main event. And then all of a sudden, like typical Maris fashion, when that gate drops in the main, like you just had a whole nother gear and just checked out on everybody. What was the shift between, like the qualifying rounds to then all of a sudden like put down one of your best laps? Like when it mattered the most, right? Because I feel like if I look back into your career, you were always able to turn it on when it mattered the most, probably better than anybody else. I'm curious.
Well, that was always mine, kind of. Not that I was saving myself. There's been races, like local races, when you kind of take it easy in the motos and just try to slowly build, start at 80% and make sure you get to the 100 mentally and physically coming to the main event. But Olympics is just I'm trying to remember your question now.
You're like, what was the big change of like, so how did you go from having...
I always, even back in the day, I always compared to surfing, right? It's when you start surfing, it's so hard to catch that wave, but once you do it, it just happens, and you kind of like, I got it, right? And that's how I compared, the London Olympics. It just kind of was just struggling to get on that board and catch the wave, and and then once I did it, if you watch the last semifinal, that's when I felt like I should have won that one. Mm-hmm. I hull shot it, but I don't want to call anyone out, but 1-1 game, he did cross the white line in the first turn.
Yeah.
So he should have, technically, I should have won that lap, and I probably would have been in lane 1, but which actually it worked out perfect, because when you're lane 3, you got to be a little more focused, right? Because if you're lane 3 and you don't have your best gate, you're probably gonna, they'll cut you off. Yeah, lane 1 you can get away sometimes, and you get a little lazy, but and London too. If there's one video, if I ever see and watch, it comes up somewhere, and that's the only main event that I watch still to this day, and it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
The London, yeah. I can watch any of the races, like, it's cool, good lap, whatnot, good gate, we can analyze. But that one, I watch it takes me back in that moment. Yeah, still gives me goosebumps. And when I crossed the finish line too, I don't know if you've seen the picture or whatnot. I just screamed, I just yelled, just all that kind of like the anger, all that, those 4 weeks prior to Olympics, and even the whole year, I was feeling good, but I was getting sick a lot. Like at the Worlds, I show up at the Worlds feeling good. I got a fever. It's like, I got a race that one, like season opener in Florida. I had show up. I had a fever, sick. I won the first day. Second day, I couldn't race. I just completely, the week and sick, and then just the whole year kind of went by like that. It just, some of it maybe overtraining, some of it is just, the Olympics coming. back of your head. It's just kind of, extra stress and all that stuff. So the whole season was just it was up and down, up and down. And that's why when I won the Olympics, I just screamed. It's like, just let it all out. Yeah.
Do you have, or did you have a process to help yourself catch that wave? Say before the London final, or like, it's easy to say, yeah, just catch the wave, but what did you use, or what did you do to say, okay, how do I get out of this funk and then back on the wave?
I mean, there's no easy way. Everyone have their own recipe, but I mean, but mainly what it comes down to is like, you gotta rely on all the hard work that you put in, right? And then obviously, in my case, I mean, I even before London, I won a lot of races, so I knew that I'm one of the best, if not the best, at that time. So it's just I just got to do it. I just need to put it all together, just mentally and physically, because I know I have it physically. And mainly what I was struggling was just something right here wasn't clicking yet. And then you just, you just gotta do a little soul searching, really. The night before the final day. I mean, you're just laying in the bed, and you just try to remember all the races that you did win or you didn't win, or what happened, what not, and then just find a way to really motivate yourself. You gotta, as an athlete, you gotta be good at sometimes lying to yourself, right? you gotta trick that brain where you tell yourself that maybe if you don't have it, that you have it, right, that day. And then it just, that's part of being an athlete. It's not it's not easy, but I mean, you gotta find a way. You gotta find a way. There's no easy way.
Yeah. What made Ivo's training special or unique?
I mean, I'm not really familiar with other training that much, but we just always clicked, from day one. And it wasn't, not always, people maybe don't know, wasn't a smooth sailing all the way till end of my career. Yeah, we almost parted ways in 2013. It was close. I mean, I was literally, I had the email put together, and I would just had to press enter, to send it. And I said, okay, I'm just gonna sleep on it one more day. I talked to my buddy; he talked me out of it, and we kind of worked it out, and decided to continue.
What was the issue, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I mean, it kind of happened obviously after Olympics, 2013. I was training, but even though I think, I won that year. I won the European title. Yeah, I mean, I was flying back to Europe, back and forth, and I was racing. And I think I'm pretty sure I won the first 7 rounds, and then I got 3 seconds, right? But he just wasn't happy with where I was mentally. My attitude a little bit, was just a touch off. I wasn't just. It's hard to explain, but I mean, to me, I was just mentally exhausted a little bit from the 12-12, right? That's just, to me, what happened. But he wanted a little bit more out of me, and he just kind of, it felt like I wasn't giving him what he wanted. Even doing sprints, I was always kind of joking around and not being as serious as he wanted me to be. And then he just kind of got upset, and we stopped talking for a while, till probably for a good solid 4 or 5 months, And then towards the end of the year, like I said, I was close to sending an email, but I decided, that no one really knows me better than him, At this point in my career, I was turning 27. Finding a new coach and stuff is like, I didn't want to go through that. So we kind of sat down, worked out all the issues that we had in 2014, and I won the ABA title. That was the only missing title that I had, and I won the European title the next year, and I was right up there at the Worlds as well. The track was tiny, but I felt like I was. I mean, I could have, should have, would have, but felt like that I should have won that title, yeah, as well.
Yeah.
So
What was it like securing the ABA title, knowing that you just essentially accomplished everything there is to accomplish in our sport?
it was
And the only one to
some
ever do
ways,
it, I'm pretty sure.
no, it was a big relief, yeah. I mean, even though I've never been a big on USABMX in general, like coming here to the States, I was always an NBL guy, right? I just always wanted to race NBL, and I did race the first 2 years till they, and I think after then they went bankrupt, right? They went out of business, and I think, I mean, I just never liked racing at end of November, because growing up in November was really we were already skiing or snowboarding, yeah. Doing something else. So to me, just season's too long, yeah. And when I was younger, I just raced ABA really too, because it was just extra races, extra money, extra bonuses, yeah. That was the only reason when I came here, and I didn't even think, oh, I'm just gonna go try to win the title. I didn't really care. And I think in all my years in the United States, I mean, since I moved 2009 and I raced till 2017, I maybe went to the Grands like 4 times, right? So I always, every year, try to find a reason not to go there. I never liked being there. I don't like the city. I don't like the track there. Nothing. Yeah, I never enjoyed it. Yeah, but by 2014, since that was one thing kind of missing, the only title
Yeah,
missing,
yeah. I
think
was
so.
gonna say,
Coach.
because if you want everything else, it's like
Yeah, I know.
at some point you're like, okay, I got to get this.
No, that was the main goal. Yeah, 2014. Yeah, they sat down with like, okay, the main goal is the USA BMX, right? I started the season good, and it was good, and then kind of mid-season, I kind of hit the wall a little bit, and then I think, what was it? Yeah, I missed I didn't go to the last. It was Orlando, I think, 3-day indoor race. Since I hate those little indoors, so I skipped it, and that's when I think kind of Sam got past me. Yeah, so he was leading in the points, and I knew that even if I win, and I think Sam got second, I still wouldn't have won the title. So a lot of things had to happen at that point. But and going, I mean, that's another story. I mean, going into the
Did you
Grands,
regret not going to the 3-day national?
no, I just
And
I
letting him
knew
pass you? Or?
I'm not going to do well there. Yeah, so I just wanted to stay home and then take a little bit of time off and get myself ready for the Grands. But I went to the Grands on the Friday, the Race of Champions. I didn't make out at the motos.
Oh,
that's a true story. It's like, okay, it's like, okay, and then you know what? And the same night, coach is like, okay, we're gonna go out, do some sprints, yeah, right? This is not serious. So we went out, we did sprints, and even after this, even the basic sprints, I was kind of struggling with. I mean, you know, like whatever was going on, whatever it was, but and we looked at each other. It's like, hey, maybe it's just not meant to be, right? Just one of those things that just maybe you just can't have it all, right? Because even 2010, when I won the NBL Worlds, the World Cup, and USA BMX was at that time it was ABA, right? It was the only one missing. I was like, hey, whatever, let's just go. I was young, let's just go. Let's fuck it, let's go for it. And that's when I got hurt, yeah, and I crashed that year. Remember, yeah, I was out for 6 months, and then yeah, the night before we looked at each other, maybe it's not meant to be, yeah. You know, it's like, yeah, no, it is what it is. And the next day is like, whatever, you know, just I'll get up and I'll give it all I got. That was my mindset the next day. And I started off decent, yeah, nothing spectacular, yeah. It was right there, won some laps, got some seconds and thirds, and just kind of hung in there. And then I think in a semifinal, I forgot what it was. I think Sam hit the gate or whatever happened. Yeah, he didn't make it into the final. So
I think he crashed on the berm jump in the second turn.
Yeah, either he crashed or something. But I think he hit. Didn't he? I think pretty sure he hit the gate though, and then he tried to catch up, and then he crashed maybe
yeah.
on top of it. Yeah, because he wasn't leading. Yeah, he was in lane something. Yeah, lane 1, and I think he hit the gate, and then he tried to catch up, And at that point, that I knew, yeah. I mean, it was just if I win the final, I have the title, yeah.
And then you caught that wave and won the final.
Yeah, that wave kind of came. I don't know if I caught the wave, but I definitely got a little bit of extra boost, yeah. And then even though I think it was still Connor could have won, it came down to, yeah, it wasn't just, I think, me alone, yeah. But I knew if Sam makes the final, I think even if I win, he would have to get fourth place, yeah, for me to win the overall. So, like I said, a lot of things had to happen, and it just, yeah, I guess, we thought it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it was meant to be. Then, yeah, so right. But I still had to put it together. I watched the last video. I think I was in the main event 3, the last main event. I was in lane 4. I was in 1. Connor was riding good too. Anthony Dean. That was a pretty stacked main event, yeah. So, and not making out in the motos day before, and then winning the race the next day. I mean, that's one of the, I guess, I mean, looking back at the bigger achievements as well in my career, yeah. Looking at the circumstances where I was the night before and then the next day, right? So
for sure. Is there anything that you wish you would have done differently throughout your career? Anything you would have changed?
I'm pretty happy with what I achieved. Obviously, looking back, I feel like I could have won a few more titles, but that's just me, I think, being greedy in some ways, right? Yeah. But I mean, I felt like I should have won 2009, the Worlds. I got 4th. I mean, Donnie won that year, but even leading up to the final, I think, I mean, my lap times are over a second faster than any other lead guy, right? That's a lot. And it was a small short track as well. So, but there's few. I mean, a couple times as I get older, I listen to coach a little bit more. As you get older, you think you sometimes better than coach, and you kind of have your own ideas, and you don't quite trust him as much as I should have. When he was telling me things that I felt like I don't need it, or it's no big deal. Then looking back, I wish I listened more. And but other than that, I mean, I had a pretty successful career, and I have no regrets about Rio de Janeiro Olympics either. Yeah, even though result wasn't good, whatnot, but the work we put in going into Olympics, I mean, I felt better than ever.
Yeah.
And it's just we showed up, and then the track it was what it was. Yeah, my race ended literally after the first jump because then I was on brakes. Yeah, maybe like I said, if I was younger, I would maybe figure it out because everyone was overshooting the second jump. It was way too small. And then when you're younger, you find a way, right? As you get older, you tap on those brakes a little bit more, right? And then when you're younger, you kind of just let it go a little bit later, a little bit
that makes
sooner.
sense.
So, and that's what happened. And I knew, I mean, showing up for the quarterfinals, I saw that it was downwind on the first straight. So that moment, I knew it's over. Yeah, I don't even want to be in semifinal because I knew I can't win. Yeah. So at that point, it didn't matter if I'm in a semifinal or quarterfinal. So even in the last quarterfinal, I think I was in the 4th place. And I just kind of, even if I stayed in the 4th place, I would have made it to the semi, but I just kind of gave up and let David Graf, I think, pass me. And then, because I knew it wouldn't have changed nothing. I would have just given my country a false hope, that maybe it's doable.
Do you still ride now, or do you still enjoy your BMX bike? Do you miss racing?
I don't miss racing at all. Yeah, I don't. I watch the race and I watch races, and I don't get no goosebumps in it. To be honest, it doesn't even feel like I ever raced. Yeah, like there's no like, what if I could do it again? I want to be in a mix. I want to win races again. Not at all. Yeah. That's why I said, I think I had enough. Yeah. and I'm glad I retired when I did. Maybe should have done it a year earlier, to be honest, but
But didn't
definitely
you
not.
win another World Cup before you retired?
No, I
Rock
didn't.
Hill or
No, I won
was
some
that a
World Cups
USABMX?
like that. I won some World Cups as races, yeah, but I didn't. I think I won the World Cup pretty much once every year, yeah, but I
Mm.
never won the overall. And yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Do you
But the
still
golf,
ride? Or because I thought I seen you riding a pump
I
track with your
I
son the
do
other
go
day.
once in a while, and as it's funny because I actually put the clip pedals on today. Earlier today, I put
Oh,
them
he's
on.
ready to race now.
No. They're
Um,
racing. Those days are long gone. But it's just so much easier, yeah. And to go on flats, even though I probably should be riding flats, but I feel like sometimes it's even more sketchier, yeah. With flats if you don't ride a lot because you kind of want to go just a touch faster, and and then I feel like I'm more in control with clips, yeah, than
yeah, for
anything. So
sure.
I just put them on, and I'll just. It depends when my son wants to go. I'll take him out, but usually it is like once every 2 weeks, maybe go for a little session. Yeah, don't ride much. Yeah.
How would you feel if your son um, became really interested in BMX racing and wanted to take it seriously?
Um, it would be mixed feelings, to be honest. Yeah, as a parent, I would be. It would be great to see him wanting to do it and follow kind of my footsteps, and seeing him excited and motivated, and and riding his bike and all happy. But the other side is, would I want to be around BMX? Going to the not that I mean I like being around BMX, but not taking him to the track 4 times a week, or just kind of would basically take me back to when I was racing. I would have to be a track
Yeah,
dad.
doing it all over again.
Yeah, not a racer, but this time a track dad. Yeah, so it's so. But I mean, he enjoys riding his bike, but he hasn't shown that kind of interest. Yeah, and obviously some of it is because I stopped riding when he was born, so he hasn't quite been around that as much. And but hey, we'll see. He does taekwondo now, and then a little bit of that, so he's having fun. Yeah, whatever he wants to do.
Maris, thank you so much for your time and meeting us here today and letting us chat about your career, and good luck with everything you have going on in your future.
Thanks a lot, man. Good talking to you.
Yes, sir. See you.
All right, see you. Bye bye.